Hello, welcome to Co-Creating with Cosmic Holly. Today, we are talking about the Virgo new moon solar eclipse happening on September 21st at 3:53 p.m. Eastern. So we're experiencing our second new moon in 2025 in Virgo. So a month ago, we started with a new moon at 0 degrees Virgo. Now we're at the end of Virgo, and we have this next new moon at 29 degrees Virgo. It's also a solar eclipse. And in less than a day after the eclipse, we move into the equinox. So we move into the next season here on in the northern hemisphere. It's autumn. So a lot of change, a lot of transition. I always feel like when we have two new moons in a row that are in the same sign, that there's something that the universe wants us to learn a little bit more about that sign, about the energy of Virgo. So Virgo's an earth sign. Um, it's very interested in detail. The part of our body that it rules is the gut, the microbiome. So it's about assimilating. It sorts out what is good for us and what needs to move on through. Um, Virgo is connected to service. It's connected to workers. It's connected to the people. It's also connected to pets, especially small animals. Um, Let me see if there's anything else uh so there's we may be experiencing issues regarding like our work, our day-to-day work, our day-to-day habits, what we uh how we define service, how we are of service in the world. um there may be health and food issues as well that are coming up, and that would be personally and on a global level, especially where the moon is situated at the last degree of Virgo, almost going into Libra. Let us see what else. So this moon, this eclipse, the eclipse energy, has a lot to do with purging and releasing what is no longer needed. That's one of the gifts of Virgo, cleans things right out. So we're going to be experiencing something in our lives that is going to be moving out, perhaps. Um, right now, uh, I feel like we're, I feel like the in this moment, I'm filming this a couple days before the new moon because I wanted to put out there that we need to let go of some things before the moon actually becomes the new moon, and then we can start bringing in intentions. But like right now, we are between the Pisces lunar eclipse that we had last week, and Pisces rules um kind of the fluids in our bodies, blood and the lymph system, things like that, right? So there could be some experience with like just the way things are moving in our bodies. But um, we're between these two eclipses, and to me, it really does feel like a very like calm in between time. Like this is a moment where we can really experience magic. And so much of this magic, I feel, is that it's time to let things go so that we can allow more new things to come in. And some of the things that I've been thinking of since Virgo is it really deals with like the micro details, our microbiome, that if we can make tiny movements toward change, um, they're going to make a really big difference. It's like assessing your life and making the tweaks. Um, if you would like to kind of think about what the theme is for this eclipse, you can look back on your life, 19 years. We have the eclipses move in these large cycles. So on September 22nd, 2006, we had a 29-degree Virgo eclipse, solar eclipse. And then on September 23rd, 1987, we had a 29-degree Virgo eclipse, September 22nd, 1968. So you keep going back. If you can look back at those times and see what kind of themes came up for you then, they're going to come back for you now. And they're coming back around, one, because cosmically that's what happens. But the cool thing about noticing those cycles, noticing those patterns, gives us the chance to refine. And that's one of the gifts of Virgo is refinement. We have a chance to make some refinements in specific areas of our lives. And I just gave those dates. I'll put them in the description below as well. Like if you could look back and see what was going on, there may be some things that you wanted to do that you weren't able to do back then, in 2006, in 1987, in 1968. Um, or there may have been some things where you're like, God, I wish I did that differently. Like maybe something else is coming up in that area where you can go, let me try this new way of doing things now that I have 19 years of life experience, right? Um, yeah. So I mentioned habits and Virgo's connected to routine. So now is the time. Now we have the energy to change a habit or routine or both. And doing those tweaks is a really good thing at this time. So certain things may just be falling out of your life without your really seemingly giving any effort. But I wanted to make this video so that you have a chance to think about some of the things you wanted to let go of before you create your new moon intentions. And this is the new moon is the time to plant seeds and then trust the universe to put things to work during the darkest time of the month. This is when the most potential is, because in nothingness is everything. And we have an eclipse as well, so it's almost like a solar, it's like a new sun, right? So it's a double whammy going on with that kind of energy where you can like set an intention with all this newness, and then less than a day later we have a new season. So this is like veils are thin time. So I have a suggestion over the next couple of days because it's Friday right now. Tomorrow or leading up to the time of the new moon, of assessing what it is you would like to let go. You know, if there's something that keeps coming up for you where you feel like, oh my God, I can't make a change here. This is making me crazy. Like this thing keeps happening. It's so frustrating. It's annoying. Like whatever it is, whatever the thing is, like, God, I can't figure out how to get out of debt, or like, oh my God, like I keep attracting the same type of people in my life. And you finally realize like the one constant is yourself. Like this is one of the things where we start to get in that like, whoa, there's one thing here that's constant, and it is me. What is it about my reality that I need to change? Like this is a question you could be asking yourself. But also it's like, what is it that, like, get clear on what is it you no longer want, and write it down, and then do something to like get it out of your body. Like you can stamp. I did this thing last year where I had something happen that triggered this whole thing for me, where I realized that um, I kept having the same thing happen again and again and again, and I didn't want it to keep happening anymore. And it happened to be right before the the Aries eclipse last spring in 2024. And I did this huge, I wrote everything out on a piece of paper, and then I announced out loud what I was letting go. And then like wherever I felt like stiffness or tightness in my body when I would say the what I was letting go, I would like pull it out and I release it. I get rid of this. And then I would take the thing that I wrote and I would tear it up into tiny pieces. And then the next day I released all the little tiny, tiny pieces of paper. It took me like, it was a 2-day ritual that I did leading the uh, up to the eclipse, and um, huge changes have happened in my life since I did that. And I really highly suggest doing a letting go ritual, and then during the new moon from 3:53 p.m. Eastern time over the next couple of days, 2 or 3 days, writing out your intentions, planting the seeds for the next thing that you want to experience in your life. I like to do 10 every month, and I like to make at least one for the collective. And because we have Virgo happening twice, we're getting two earth earth sign new moons in a row. I feel like that the earth could use some of our collective energy, some of our love. So setting an intention for the health of the planet, and then setting intentions for yourself, and allowing one of those intentions to be like really big, letting one of those intentions be something that seems like it's impossible. Maybe even take some time to write it out, like so that it's so like something that is beyond anything you could imagine. And it like set it down and then rewrite it so that it's even bigger. Like that would be that's just I just feel like the energy right now is it's like ripe for a lot of change. And so yeah. Uh and then you're going to start to see things unfold over the next month, and then over the next the next it's 2.25 years. And you can even make one of those intentions be a 19-year intention, since we have this eclipse that runs in these 19-year cycles. Like, what would you like to see happen over the next 19 years in your life, over the next 3 years, and then over the next month, right? The 2.25 years is in 9 months, you'll have a Virgo quarter moon, in 9 months, you'll have a Virgo full moon, and in 9 months. And actually, the lunar families actually blend a little bit with Libra. So this is going to be a more imaginative, open um, dance the with the lunar gestation cycles, because we're so close to being in Libra. And so maybe some of the intentions you may want to have, like being of service, and then maybe also like, how are you partnering in the world? How are you partnering with your environment? How are you partnering with the planet? So I usually draw the cards. I'm going to do the cards now. I usually draw the cards while I'm talking. And I already made this video, but I forgot to record it with sound. So this is take two. Um, so I'm keeping the cards. I thought, oh, I could just pull new cards, but I felt like the cards are were totally apropos. The first card we have is death. And one of the things that really stood out to me was death is standing on a black sun. Well, the eclipse is a black, the sun is going to go black for, a little bit. So we have like a new sun. Death is transformation, and it's something that is, you may be feeling like it's something that's been coming for a while. Um, we will experience change, and there's there's a chance for like even like a 180 with this change. Um, I like that this death is holding an arrow. So I feel like it's a kind of change. Well, you know, death is death is something that one we all experience, and then what? um, but there's this chance for, I mean, there's something about like death that brings utter clarity. And this arrow to me says like really like really being clear on your thoughts, really being clear on what it is you would like to bring in. We also have like I've done a lot of meditating on death over the last year, and over the last few years. And it's like death is uh it's there's like compassion with death, I feel. Um really looking at the cards and then experiencing death in my own life. There's a point where, we just run out of time, we run out of energy, you know and death takes us to another place. We may be getting messages too. We have the raven here, who can go back and forth between uh, dimensions, between the underworld and here, and uh, also can fly very high up in the sky. So different dimensions of reality. But the raven's a messenger, The raven can tell us, uh, can give us messages from other dimensions. The big thing with death is change, and the change is it may not be easy. There usually is grief involved with death. And so that's part of the walking through the underworld that we all experience. And so there may be some of that. I'm not saying that it's like that death is that it's going to be literal death, but there is going to be a change and there are a lot of feelings around it. The second card that I pulled was the Nine of Pentacles. And there's it's very interesting how death can affect how we feel about the things that we own, and also, about our own health. Like Virgo, the Virgo moon is definitely connected to health. It's the most health oriented um sign in the zodiac, or the what's connected to health. Is ruled by um, Mercury, and there's there are so many different symbols with Mercury. One of them is the caduceus. Now, the Nine of Pentacles is generally like, oh, there are all these objects of wealth in this tree, in the material world, all of this luxury. And we can't take it with us when we die. So there really is an assessment right now of what is important. What is wealth to you? What feels right to you? As far as like what it is that you own. With this upside down, there may be this fear around not having enough, when in fact, if you actually sat down and made a list, you may actually have more than enough. So there could be, this is the time to assess what is happening in my life. What do I own? What brings me happiness? What makes me feel wealthy? It's not always things that make a person feel wealthy. Am I experiencing pleasure? Like this is calling you to go, where am I right now? Where is my life right now? And in order to let things go, in order to, bring things in, it's really good idea to check in. What are my successes? Just what is it that I have? What is it that I have to show for my life? Right. And and what would I like to show for my life? And then go from there, right? And then finally, we pulled three cards. We have the Eight of Wands, which is movement. There, once you decide, um, and even without deciding, because death is like, change is happening, transformation is happening. What makes it easier is if you accept it and then allow the transformation to happen, to know where you're at, to know, to assess your reality, your physical reality. This is everything you have, what you own, your physical state, your body, your relationships, like everything that you experience in your body, and what is happening in your environment. That's what this is saying. Have a look, double check. reassess. And this is take action. Like small moves will create big movement. And the movement is happening anyway. So why not direct it? Um, Death is asking you to really decide um, what is your priority, what is important to you. Like when you assess this about your life, um, imagine that you're looking back at your life from your time of death. Like, did I do all the things I want to do? Did I tell everyone that I loved, that I love them? Like all those things. Was I kind? Could I have been uh, of service in a way that to my community, or to my family, to myself? Could I have been kinder to myself? And then start doing it. Like, what is it that change is happening. What is it that you would like to change, and then start making the changes? That's really what this is. It's really what the eclipse is also saying. You know, I say the one thing about um, Virgo is to just start taking the action, even if it's the tiniest action. Sometimes Virgo will hesitate because something might not be perfect. Just take the action, one step at a time, and you're already in the process of refining. If you can have gratitude for your life, if you can have gratitude every day, if that's the change you make is gratitude, then you're refining your life. Okay. Thank you for watching. I hope that you have a wonderful week. If you'd like to get a reading with me, go to holly-troy.com/tarot and you can book a reading with me. See you next week. I hope that you are able to let some things go and bring some things in and allow yourself to have some fun. Bye.